we can actually kick off because we do have a couple of participants and just start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Wonderful. Good evening, Mr. Antoine.
Good evening.
All right.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Great.
And thank you everyone for, allowing us to do this in the evening. I know usually we're at 9 a.m. So wanted to see if we might be able to get more people to participate, might determine if we want to keep it at 6, one time, or maybe just stick with the 9 a.m. But welcome everyone. And thank you to our attendees that are watching. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. LaRocca needs to leave a little earlier. So we're going to go a little bit out of order in terms of the reports. We'll have her go first when we get to that portion. So we can kick it off with our treasurer report. Rajmi, I know you had sent me over the budget. We did send out the 4 checks last month to our recipients of the mini grants. And did you said only 3 schools did not cash their checks? Is that correct, Rajmi? No, I don't know if she can get to her mute button. But I believe only one school had cashed their checks. So if our principals can please just check in with your winners to make sure that the checks were received. We did send them, Rajmi sent them via Interschool mail from Willow. So just make sure that your recipients have received it. Oh, it looks like we lost Rajmi. And then now I'll pass it over to Dr. LaRocca. She's going to give our superintendent's report.
Hey, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to really try to focus on two major topics that we have going on district-wide. I know that usually I go last, so I know what everybody else said, so I don't repeat things. So I think if I stick with these 2 topics, I won't step on too many people's toes tonight. So really, I wanted to give an update on the strategic plan initiative. It's going really, really well. We started a couple of months ago with the survey. We had an overwhelming response to the survey. We had a lot of good engagement through the thought exchange. We used a little bit of a different thought exchange than in the past, where people were able to just answer some straight survey questions and then provide input, open input for a couple of questions. So we did that. We got some really nice data from that. Mr. Svensson, who is our former interim assistant superintendent for curriculum instruction last year, he is our consultant that's helping us with the strategic plan as a neutral party. And he has created a presentation that he used to facilitate focus groups these past several weeks. So we had focus groups that included our current students. We had a focus group that included alumni students. We went to each of the high schools to talk to some former students, which was really wonderful. We had a great teacher focus group. We had a parent focus group last week. And the administrative team actually met with Mr. Svensson today to go over and also answer questions from our point of view. The board also received the presentation as well. So the focus groups are finished. The survey is finished. So, Mr. Svensson, Dr. Adis, and I are going to be working over the next couple of weeks to put together all the data that was collected in the survey and in the focus groups. And then in March, we'll be presenting a comprehensive report to the Board of Education. And then we'll be looking to release kind of the framework that we talked about when we started the plan. Was the goal was to create a guiding framework that we could use to set district goals on an annual basis moving forward. So that process has been going extremely well. We'd love to hear feedback from the community on how they think the process is going, but I believe the parents had an excellent meeting with Mr. Svensson, and I think we learned that these processes are great for engaging and giving people an opportunity to meet in person and speak in person, which is a nice opportunity for the community. So far, we have seen some major themes emerge from the discussions and from the survey, and areas that people have highlighted include one area is the budget, and there's work to be done around ensuring that the community's priority aligns with the budget that we put out. There's also some more information sharing. So those are some areas we're going to be looking at for improvements. There was comments on the state of our facilities and improvements. I know there's certainly I've heard from parents across the district about our playgrounds and fields. We've had lots of discussions about that, so it makes sense that that would have been part of what was discussed. We had good feedback about our curriculum instruction, including technology use. So we'll be having conversations about how we can innovate our curriculum, take it from the solid programs that we have, but move it forward. Another area that people are interested in prioritizing is class sizes. So we'll continue to evaluate our class sizes and look at things like how much space we have, and try to keep and maintain the low class sizes where we do have them, and look at the possibilities for lowering some of the other class sizes that are a little bit larger. And the last major area that came through is making sure students are prepared for their secondary experiences. And that's already something we've had on our radar. If you remember, our logo for the year has 3 words: connected, engaged, and ready. And the ready part of that is to make sure that our students are prepared. So one of the things that I think is really nice about this process is it's given more people an opportunity to have voice in what's happening in our school district. And it also validates the concerns that we have as administrators and the board and the parents. And these are things that I think we've already spoken about, and it will be good to continue to focus and prioritize in these areas. So that is an update on how the strategic planning is going. And then the second thing to talk about is really the budget development process. And I know Mr. Antoine will give you more on this. But we did get our information from the state on our state aid. And, a lot of the districts, we all had concerns about what might come. And we anticipated getting a reduction. However, we did get a nice state aid package, around an 8% increase. Now, our normal increase is generally between 3 and 5%. The past several years, the governor fully funded foundation aid. We were seeing increases over 11%, 12%. And so this is somewhere in the middle. It's a little bit higher than typical years, It's a little bit lower than when the fully funding foundation aid was happening. So we feel good about that number. We still have to contend with ongoing rising costs for goods and services and other constraints on the budget. So for the next several months, we'll be doing the fine tuning on the budget. Um, we encourage everyone to really keep up to date with what's happening by paying attention to the Board of Education meetings, and of course, any communications that we put out on Parent Square. There will be the usual budget newsletter that's required. And Mr. Antoine and I will be at each of the individual PTA meetings to share the budget. But you can always contact Mr. Antoine or I at any time if you want to share your thoughts about the budget, or if you have any suggestions or comments to share. And I want to thank, I really do, I don't want to step on some of the things that I know my colleagues on the call are going to talk about, but I really do want to thank the admin team, because everyone on the team has really been focused this year on increasing parent engagement. And everyone has been participating, especially Mr. Mango, Dr. Dunn, and Dr. Adis, in opportunities to bring the community in. We had a wonderful literacy day. We had Pajama and Pages event. We had a nice parent event for student well-being. And Dr. Adis and Dr. Dunn are going to talk about Aaron's Law at the end of this meeting. So I think those are things that we should highlight, and I hope that families are feeling more engaged with the district and getting the information they need to be informed and to ensure that their children are having a good experience in our schools. So I appreciate the time, and thank you for letting me share about the strategic plan and the budget. And that's my report.
Thank you, Dr. LaRocca. Appreciate that. And you touched on a couple of things that we had some questions on, specifically that came up at Wheeler: class sizes, facility construction, and so forth. But the facility stuff I could leave towards the end with Mr. Antoine. Next, we can step into our principal report. So just in case you missed the message from Rajmi before, the only school that cashed their mini grant check was Howell. So we want to confirm if our principals can please confirm that Johanna Land at Deaver, Miss Ancharas at Wheeler, and then I know Miss Caroline Welk was on sabbatical, or she was out for a period. I'm not sure if she's back yet, but if we could just make sure that those checks were received for Miss Welk, if she's still going to be out, if you could put that check in a safe spot for her. But it did come inter-school mail from Willow. So please, if you could just double check to make sure it's not hiding in a mailbox somewhere.
I'll check tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Mrs. Cardinal, I just wanted to say, because I don't know if we said it before, but Mrs. Gervaisi couldn't be on the call tonight because she has a class tonight.
Oh, okay.
As well. So, but I believe Mr. Hoplaski has her report to share for Willow.
Okay, perfect. And I'll send her an email separately also letting her know to just make sure that they got that check. Perfect. So we can jump into our principal reports, kicking off with Mr. Gruen with Deaver.
Hi, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. So it's been an exciting time at Deaver. It's been busy since the last time that we had our inter-school meeting. Kind of the end of the year, around holiday time, November, December. There's so many things going on, so many music activities, so many opportunities for parents to come into the building. And so I just wanted to share some of them with you. We actually had our first annual career day last week. We had 20 plus parents and other community members come into the building and share about their careers. It's never too young to start thinking about what do I want to be when I grow up. So for grades 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, it was set up. If any of you have ever been to like the Living Museum I know that we do it. I think one or two of the other schools actually do it. It was kind of set up in that manner where they were all in the gymnasium. They each had their own table, and the children were divided up into small groups, and they went from table to table to table. And then at the end, the big hit, of course, was Bond, who is a canine police dog who sniffs out bombs and guns. Actually, one of our school safety officers, it's his dog. So he was a big hit at the end. But it was really great. I mean, there were doctors and physical therapists and chefs and law enforcement and so many opportunities for children to hear about a lot of the careers that some of the parents have. For kindergarten and first grade, they pushed into the kindergarten and first grade classes. So each one of the K and one classes had two different presentations, rather than going through the gym. Our fifth grade kind of aligned with the same thing. Our fifth grade went to Commerce Plaza. It's a simulated work environment. They all get dressed up like they're actually going to work, and choose from 9 different simulated work environments. Once again, it was a culmination of their economics unit and another opportunity for children to start thinking about, what do I want to be? What kind of things do I need to study in high school and beyond? Um, Something that's very important to us at Deaver and has been for a long time, but we're paying particular attention to it this year is our buddy groups. Every class in the school participates in at least one type of buddy group. Um, so just a couple of examples. I mean, I have second graders and sixth graders who act as pen pals. We have special area teachers who participate where we have some of our younger students um, walking around with Mr. Mullen and collecting the library books before school starts. A lot of it takes place in our innovation lab, working on different innovation projects, different types of coding and things like that. Some of our classes actually participated in this national event, which is called the Hour of Code. Um, so a lot of them spend a lot of time together as buddy groups in the innovation lab. And two other things, our student council has been focusing on so many activities for our school that all of the kids are participating in. The one currently going on is the Super Bowl of Caring. We had our holiday sing-along. We wrote holiday letters to the soldiers. Dee's Nursery, which is a local nursery, has the annual Trees for Troops, which we participated in. Today was World Read Aloud Day, so each one of our student council members was assigned a classroom, and they each went to that class and read to the students in that class. Tomorrow we have one of our local council, town of Hempstead council people, Melissa Miller, coming to pick up the Valentines for veterans. We had our Malvern Mill poster contest. And last but not least, for the first time this year, as one of the rewards for raising so much money as part of one of our fundraisers for the PTA, the two children who did the most acts of kindness were able to become principal for a day. So they had a lot of opportunities to do things like, of course, welcome the students. They read to classes. They made the morning announcements. They visited the district office. They even visited Dr. LaRocca, um, who was very welcoming and shared some of the things about her own job. So those are some of the things going on at Deaver. And I guess that's it. And we'll let the next person go. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to jump over. We're going to do a twofer with Mr. Hoplosky for Howell and Willow.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Michelle. Yep, I will start with Willow's report. So Cindy was nice enough to give me a typed report for extensive to read. Judy, good luck at the concert. So Willow participated in the Great Kindness Challenge, a week-long program dedicated to creating a culture of kindness and compassion in communities worldwide. Willow joined nearly 20 million students in over 41,000 schools to perform more than 1 billion acts of kindness across 115 countries. The students were not only participated in school, they also participated at home as they sent a family checklist home with each student. They particularly enjoyed leaving positive post-it and hearts throughout the Willow hallways. The kickoff of the challenge, fifth grade community club members visited each classroom to briefly explain the kindness challenge. um, Share Some Kindness, Spread Some Light literacy event. This was actually a district-wide event, so I think you'll probably hear all the principals talking about it. But what an amazing event. Dr. Radis really, this was part of her charge for the administrative team, and we appreciated it. But, as it was a district-wide literacy event that was held on January 14th. All students enjoyed a read aloud of the Share Some Kindness, Bring Some Light by April Scott with their teachers and family members, and afterwards, everyone created their own lantern project. It was very similar to the lantern in the book, as a symbol of leading with kindness as a light in the new year ahead. Um, she also mentioned that her classes celebrated the legacy and achievements of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and how the first grade students at Willow were awarded Peace Prizes as they learned about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the importance of the Nobel Peace Prize. The awards were celebrated the award celebrated the students and what they do to make the world a better place. She also mentioned that Willow had 8 fifth grade and sixth grade all-county student musicians perform at the Till Center on January 12th, and they're looking forward to celebrating both the 100th day of school and Dalmatian Day on the 101st day of school, as well as P.S. I Love You Day in February. And that is Willow's report. Um, And as for Howell, I'll jump right in. I agree with Willow that February is all about kindness and light and health and good health. Though viruses are in abundance out there right now, so we're wishing everyone to please stay healthy. It included hit my household as well. But I can tell you, we're all about, happy and health and kindness. So our student council also rolled out the kindness challenge this month, and it included today was actually that positive post-it day, and students were seen throughout the building putting post-it notes on staff members' doors, and it was just great to see every door had post-its, whether it was the custodian, the nurse, some of the noon hour aides, just random staff members that sometimes don't always get acknowledged, as well as all the student desks had post-its on it as well. So it was a great way just to like start and end the day just on a positive point. There was also, we're going to be having our Healthy Heart Week celebration next week. Our phys ed classes will participate in Jump Rope and Hoops for the Heart, which is a fundraiser for the American Heart Foundation, as well as they're going to do a walkthrough of a giant artery, which was created by Mrs. Matarana, the art teacher, some of our PTA representatives, and actually, I want to thank Normel Smith, who's one of our parents at Howell Road, who actually was able to secure a nurse to come for our giant artery walkthrough. So all of our children will be guided by a specialty nurse who will talk to them about nutrition and eating well and having a healthy lifestyle, which will lead to good arteries, hopefully. We're also celebrating our PS I Love You Day, I Love You Week next week, and we are in the process of celebrating Black History Month. This includes special projects and presentations on all grades, particularly our third graders right now are dressing up as an influential person that they feel they are most proud of and want to present to their classes. Um, the Howell Mystery Reader program, I think you hear a lot about, community involvement in the schools and just, it's not always about big events. It's also about that daily involvement. And Howell has been really, big into this Mystery Reader program in which we invite parents in from pre-K all the way to sixth grade to participate in not only being a mystery reader to the class, but also, many times they're sharing books that are either very personally relevant or even culturally relevant to them, and they share their text to self connections and how it relates to their family and why it's so important to them. And it's just a great learning experience for everyone involved. I want to use the word authentic. It's just so authentic that the kids just feel it's a special learning experience. And in our pre-K, we really put a large push this year in our pre-K program to try to recognize some of the assets we have in our community. So we had New Wave Dentistry come in and do a presentation for all of our pre-K children about dental hygiene and good health. I think all of our kids got a toothbrush, and it was just an exciting, everything's exciting for pre-K, but it was a really exciting time for our little ones and a great way for a community representative to come in. And finally, I just wanted to mention that, Howell we've always been very famous for our PBIS celebrations, which is positive behaviors, intervention, and supports, as well as, when we catch children doing something great, we give out Howell Owls, and the kids love to get these owls and celebrate with their families. And at the end of the week, we publicly acknowledge our students for getting caught doing something great. But recently, some of the staff members thought it would be a great idea if we can introduce a Class of the Month club and just a Class of the Month award in which no classroom teachers are allowed to vote, but any other staff in the building, it could be bus drivers, it could be custodians, office staff, noon hour aides, special area teachers, and they all vote on a Class of the Month. And when, at the end of the month, we celebrate which class is the winner, and the children get this big trophy, as well as which we keep in the front showcase, and they get to choose a special activity to do on one day of the month as well, such as like an extra recess period and whatnot. And it really has begun to promote this feeling of we're working together to build a stronger community at Howell. So it's been off to a great start. This is our second month we're in right now, and it's been the competition is fierce over at Howell. Class is definitely want to win that award. So those are both Howell and Willow's reports, and we want to wish everyone a good night, and thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. And now we will turn over to Dr. Pete Butcher for Wheeler's report.
You're on
Okay,
mute.
thank you. Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Good evening to everyone. I would like to first start off with our sixth grade Unity Committee, of which I am the chairperson. We had a Zoom kickoff of all sixth grade classes across the district, where we kicked off our Pen Pal program. And this gives our students an opportunity to talk to students through pen pals, through sharing letters about their likes, some things that are going on, just so that when we see each other later on in the school year in May, when we have our big event, that they will have some context and they'll have a great time and meeting someone. I've heard great feedback already about some students are just really enjoying the program, and they're enjoying talking to their pen pals. That's happening across the entire district. Over at Wheeler specifically, our student council has been extremely busy this year. We too are participating in the Valentine's for Veterans, that we're finishing that up, and they also spearheaded a toiletry drive for a specific organization, so we're very happy about that. We just finished up to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Day. We did have a food drive, and that benefited a local organization. So we were able to support this organization. We brought in over 1,000 canned food items. So that was a great help and a great support. And the students are really the ones that are spearheading this in our school. And they're just excited to share and to give back. So that's an awesome thing to see. I can't speak enough about the Share Some Kindness, Spread Some Light. That event was incredible to see so many families who came out. So I thank you on behalf of our school for coming out and just really, really being a support for this. It was a wonderful, wonderful day from start to finish. So we thank you for that. This Friday is our Sweetheart Dance for our kindergarten through second grade students. That will be held in the large gym. So we're looking forward to that. Next Thursday, Wheeler is having our Kids Heart Challenge, which is the jump rope and hoops for heart. So we're excited about that. The 14th is going to be PS I Love You Day, as well as Valentine's Day. At the end of the month, on the 28th, for our 5th and 6th grade students, we're going to be celebrating No One Eats Alone Day, and that is something that is spearheaded by our Miss Galio Tafiri, who is our school social worker. Again, the 100th day of school is coming up, Dalmatian Day 101. So we're just excited for all of the things that our students are doing and the excitement that they bring each and every day, as well as the staff. One last thing I would like to talk about are our field trips. Our field trips starting next month will be underway. We have had a few virtual ones that our classes are working on. 2nd grade will be going to the Elmont Library for a play. 3rd grade will be going to the Cradle of Aviation. And in concert with Deaver, students will be going to Albany to celebrate music in our schools. So we're excited about the things that are happening and how our students are participating and the opportunities that they are afforded each and every day. Thank you, parents, for your never-ending support of our school and our district, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank
Can I
you.
just say
And
one thing? Can I just say
yeah,
one
go
thing?
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Dr. Butcher gave us a shout out saying we're going to Albany with Wheeler. I just wanted to mention that this we did last year as well, but this year all 4 of our schools are going. So we're all going. Okay?
That's
Just
fantastic. Love
to
hearing
let
that.
everybody know. It's not just Deaver and Wheeler. All 4 of our schools are going.
Excellent. Glad to hear that. And I have to say, for our cans, my 4th grader got a free homework pass because she was the #1 supplier of cans for her class. She shopped in our house in the basement, my sister's, her grandma's. She did her rounds, so it was great, and she was excited to have, I think, the 4th grade one, their free movie or something for that collection. So that's great. Next, we'll move along to Dr. Dunn for her special services report.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. So I'm going to piggyback off of Dr. Pete Butcher, who was talking about the 6th grade. We are full into our annual season, and we're hosting our 6th grade transition meetings. We do those pretty early. We've been hosting them either in person or hybrid. So if a parent can't make it in, they can, come on a Zoom or a phone, but we still continue to offer either way, virtual or in person. We've gotten nice feedback on the CSE parent input form. So if you have not done that and you still can do it and your meeting's coming up, it would be very helpful to have that. And again, you can choose, we're very flexible. So if you can't make a meeting, we always have other backup dates. So we try to make it convenient for all families. So the kickoff of 6th grade transition started with the 6th grade team. The special ed department came to the SEPTA meeting and they presented on the programs that are in the high school. Then I met with the high school team to talk about the students so the IEPs can get carried over and the 504 plans. And now we're hosting those annual meetings. And speaking of SEPTA, if everybody, I'll put the link in here for joining SEPTA as a member. They're going to stick to, if you're a graduating 6th grade student, your parent or family member has to be part of SEPTA. They have to be a member. They're sticking to that rule. And they don't fundraise, so it's $10 and they're trying to increase their membership. And the meetings have been very helpful and very useful. The next meeting is February 12th. They're all held through Zoom, and the one after that is March 12th, and that's on neurodiversity awareness. Last week I presented to the Board of Ed, so on the live stream there's a presentation on the student well-being team. So last year we had in the budget, we included a special social worker who is a district-wide social worker. Her name is Amanda Garcia. She's been pushing into all 3rd and 4th grade classes. Some of your children might be calling her their feelings teacher, but she has really great lessons. And then we have Ryan Boyle, who's been the guidance counselor in the district, and he pushes into all 5th and 6th grade classes. So we're looking to expand our SEL program. So with Mr. Hoplowski and I, we're leading the Excellence and Equity Committee into choosing an SEL curriculum, which we'll present to the board by the end of the school year and adopt it for the coming school year. Our next parent training counseling workshop is on February 27th, and it's going to be held by Christy Tavera, who's a speech provider over at Deaver, and Emily Salerno, who's a special ed teacher over at Willow, and they're going to be talking about core vocabulary and frequently used words. So this increases students' vocabulary for students maybe that are nonverbal or using an AAC device. And then North High School runs a program, Athletes Helping Athletes, and they've been coming to visit our sixth graders. And it's a leadership team that really mentors the younger students on the importance of athletics in everyday life and positive decision making. So their next visit will be February 27th, and they visit Willow, Howell, and Deaver. It's been a very successful program, and the students look forward to it. And then lastly, summer services are for eligible students who demonstrate regression, and they have an IEP, and we are discussing those at CSEs. The program will be held at Willow. I'll get these words out today. It's late. And it runs from July 1st to August 8th. It's 8:30 to 11:30. So we have a program for speech and language, for occupational therapy. We have resource room, and we have small special classes. But again, the service providers and teachers collect data, and they have to demonstrate that there's regression. And that's what makes the decision. And we talk about that at CSE. And that's really all I have. And it's a busy time of year for all of us. But if you need anything or have any questions for special ed or ENL, you can give me a call.
Thank you, Dr. Dunn. Now we'll turn it over to our curriculum lead, Dr. Adishe.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to travel back to December a little bit and just give a shout out for Family Week. As you know, we celebrated Family Week in school and on Parent Square. Hopefully at home you had a chance to look at our read aloud videos that were posted each day. I want to thank each of our principals for participating and reading a great winter book to share throughout Family Week and also to celebrate the holiday time. So I encourage you to, look at Parent Square and look out for things like that, because we are really committed to using literacy as a way to build our community. And that was one way to do that, along with our Pajamas and Pages events, which kicked off Family Week back in December. I know it was mentioned a couple of times already, and I so appreciate the work that was done to have our Share Some Kindness, Bring Some Light Day in January. Again, another example of using a shared text to bring people together to celebrate something really important, which is the new year, reflection, kindness. And again, at the building level, the principals and the teachers worked really hard to organize, a full day where all people in the school community were involved. It was quite amazing. Special area teachers, staff, general education, special education teachers, ENL, AIS support, everybody really played a role in a unique way. So I want to just commend the work at the building level and thank those families who participated and all the students who hopefully, shared about their lanterns that they created in school. Sixth grade was also mentioned a couple of times. Dr. Peets Butcher mentioned the Pen Pal program that she had launched with her team. And we've also been doing some work in regard to curriculum and instruction with sixth grade, just thinking about that idea of readiness that Dr. LaRocca mentioned earlier. The structure of our district is unique in the sense that the students do go off to the Valley Stream Central High School District, but bridging that transition socially, emotionally, and academically is really important to us. So we've been doing some things this year to help students transition and families to feel comfortable. We've been doing some curriculum development with the whole sixth grade team. I've worked with the teachers to look at some of our spring curriculum work in the area of literacy and to, communicate with the teachers what literacy work looks like in 7th and 8th grade. We did a review of the standards. We looked to see how the standards progress. Ironically, New York State does band the standards in a 6 to 8 band. So we really looked at 7th and 8th grade. And we've done some work to create experiences that will serve as a scaffold and a preparation for students when they get to seventh grade. So a book club unit, argument writing unit, where kids go through the writing process several times to write and construct arguments. So that work is happening and it's been very successful. We also are going to have an author visit with New York Times bestselling author Gordon Corman, who has written over 100 middle grade novels. He is very popular among readers in fifth, sixth, seventh grade. So he is going to visit our students in May in sixth grade. And again, it'll serve as a literacy event where we are going to bring all of the students together from across the district. And Dr. Pete Butcher mentioned the Pen Pal, the event at the end of the year, so that the kids will be able to meet their pen pals. They'll be able to talk about the text by Gordon Corman, and also meet him in person and learn a little bit about him as an author and the writing process. So that will be a nice event to bring sixth graders together, again, as a celebratory event to get ready for going on to seventh grade. And then in addition to the area of literacy, we also have worked with the Central High School District in the area of science, and their curriculum team, their team of science chair people from North, Central, Memorial, and South actually came to meet with our sixth grade teachers to talk a little bit about science and the investigations and some of the new ways in which science is being taught at the secondary level, just to inform us as to what kids are going to be facing in science at the secondary level and how we can kind of bridge that. So that was very interesting and supportive. So there's been a lot of communication with the high school district, and we will do more, again, to support the kids in that transition. In terms of professional development, all of our teachers, K to 6, have been participating in professional development in the area of reading, particularly in small group, as we work to provide, personalized instruction in reading to meet every child where they are in their development. And then also our second and third grade teams have been participating in professional development in the area of writing throughout the year, and that's continuous and will into the spring. And then we are not going to see each other again until April. So I'm jumping ahead, but New York State testing happens in April and early in May. So on our district calendar, it is listed when students, when the test will be administered. So just as a review, April 8th and 9th, 5th and 6th grade will be taking the New York State ELA exam. April 10th and 11th, the New York State ELA exam will be administered in 3rd and 4th grade. April 29th and April 30th will be the math exam for 5th and 6th graders. May 1st and May 2nd is the math exam for 3rd and 4th graders. And then our science exam is May 13th for just 5th grade. That's one grade level exam. So thank you so much. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Now we'll jump into our business report. One thing, Mr. Antoine, that has been mentioned a lot in passing, with parents is the Wheeler Gym. So I'm hoping that you have an update for us as part of your report, the roof specifically.
Yes, there's an update. The problem with the Wheeler Gym is that it's too expensive. That's the problem. So, but we're working on it. Everything in schools, there's a process. You have to submit, the architect submits their plans. The plans have to get approved. We get a project number. We have to put things out to bid. In certain cases, like we had to do with Willow, we were able to expedite it because it was an emergency. So Willow was designated by the board as an emergency project. So we were able to fast track that and get the approvals that we needed so we could put out the bid for the Willow roof. But it's the quotes are just coming back so much. Everything is going up. So where we think that something's going to cost 200,000, it's 300,000, 350,000. So it's just a little bit of a challenge. The holdup with the Wheeler roof is that it hasn't been approved yet. The last time I checked, it was I think it's running anywhere from 12 to 18 weeks, and we were halfway through that process. So it's probably still another 6 to 9 weeks before we get approval. Once we get approval, then we should be able to put it out to bid and hopefully start the project.
And this is approval from the state.
From the state, yeah, from the state. So everything has to be approved, and then also for us to get our aid, we need project numbers and we need approvals. So it's just taken a little bit longer than we anticipated, but fingers crossed, everything should be approved pretty soon, and we'll start the work. So I could, if you want me to, touch base with you and put something out so that way we can inform those who are questioning what, the process or the status, I can do that. So just let me know.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so not a problem. Well, let me get into it. This time of year, as Dr. Dunn said, everybody's busy. We're all busy doing something. It's busy number time. So I'm working on my numbers, crunching my numbers, trying to put everything together. The governor put out her proposal, and the proposal came back pretty decent, as Dr. LaRocca said. We normally would get about 3 to 5% state aid increase. We received an overall 8% increase, which is good, but it's down from the years of 13 and 18 and 20% increases that we had when the governor was trying to fully fund foundation aid. However, it's still good. So I'm working through the numbers and trying to put things together so that way we could have a balanced budget that could keep up all of the wonderful things that all of my colleagues have talked about tonight. I would normally have numbers right now, but it's just difficult to say what my tax levy is going to be because there's so many different factors that go into my tax levy. So since I'm still working through the budget, I need to determine my transfer to capital. My transfer to capital, not to bore you, but my transfer to capital has a direct impact on what my tax cap is going to be. So since I didn't determine the transfer to capital, I can't come up with the tax cap number. So it's just taking a little more time. By the next time we meet, I will have everything because I have to have my tax cap by March 1st. That has to be submitted to the office of the comptroller, to the comptroller's office by March 1. So I'm working on that. But right now I'm at a 5.9% budget to budget increase, which is high. I need to get it down to around a 3% budget to budget increase. So that way everything works out. The governor did give us decent money. As I mentioned, we received $2 million in foundation aid, but right now I'm up $4 million when I just roll over the budget. So I'm working it through to see what I can do to cut expenses that will have the least impact on instruction. Then we also have to think about some of the projects that we're going to do. Dr. LaRocca and I are working on all of the feedback that we get from our budget ambassadors, from the focus groups, to see what are the priorities that we're going to put into next year's budget. We keep hearing about playgrounds, so we know that that's a priority. We want to make sure that we keep up to date. We're updating our facilities. Security is always a priority. And again, making sure that we're doing everything to maintain our high level of instruction. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. It's a challenge trying to make it all work and put it all together, but that's what we're doing. In the business office, I mentioned the last time that I hired a payroll person, Julia Hegner. She's doing a wonderful job. And then I recently hired an assistant business administrator. Previous assistant business administrator left after a year. Good for him. He was able to move on to the Hewlett-Woodmere district. So, that's great for him. But I had to replace him, and now we filled his replacement. Her name is Elisa Duger. She's only been on the job for 2 weeks, but she's doing good. So when my life gets easier when I have all of the positions filled. So I'm not doing everything. And when my emails go down, that's when I know that the business office is running smoothly, because they're not calling me about payroll. They're not calling me about transportation. They're not calling me about all of the things that go on in the department. So everybody is working out fine. So now I can focus on the budget. Let's see, what do I have on my list here? I think that's it. I will have more information. Everything will be finished by the next time we meet, so I will update you more next time. I hope that everyone has a wonderful night. And I didn't think that this night meeting was going to work, but I guess it is okay. So yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you so much. I think it might help. There's a special meeting after as well that's happening. So you might have some early arrivals, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next, I'll turn it over to Ms. Domingo to talk about technology.
Thank you very much. So in the area of curriculum, we purchased this year Magic School AI. I believe I've mentioned it before in this group, but I wanted to mention it for anybody who is joining us for the first time this evening. So Magic School AI is an artificial intelligence program. It services both teachers and students, but at this time for this school year, we're using it for teachers only. We've created an AI cohort of teachers who volunteered to really move the work forward in the district. So they're working in their classrooms. All teachers are working in their classrooms, but specifically the teachers who are in the cohort are sharing best practices so that we can create a newsletter and bring professional development to the rest of the staff. Next school year, we look to release Magic School AI to our students. They have amazing features, rooms that can be designed specifically according to a student's interests, so that you can frame curriculum according to what a child's likes and dislikes, which I think is pretty cool. Much more to come on that, but our teachers are actively working in that program now. The February Board of Education meeting is a technology update, and this year we will have 2 different presentations. One will be Cynthia Alvarado, our instructional coach for technology, will present on her push-in lessons to all of our second grade classes on digital citizenship. So because second grade is the first year that students are traveling home with their Chromebooks, we want to make sure that we start this curriculum work in kindergarten and first grade, but second grade is really a more intense push to make sure students are safe online and maintaining a healthy digital footprint. The second piece of the presentation will be creative problem solving in our libraries, and our library team will come to present. They've each selected some projects that they wish to highlight, but one in particular that we're excited to share is Become a TREP, and it's an online and entrepreneurial program for our 6th grade students, and every 6th grader in the district works on that program. It was designed specifically for Valley Stream 13 in collaboration with our librarians. So it's something that we're very excited to do in our district. And one of our librarians will be sharing some past and present things that students have come up with. So it's an entrepreneurial focus. They study inventors and entrepreneurs, and they go through the prototyping process and come out with a project and a commercial and do their pitch like a Shark Tank style closure. So it's a very fun project, and we're excited to share that with you. We will be doing a district-wide STEAM night in April. Each of our buildings has a night. Teachers will be manning stations, and we'll have different types of STEAM projects for families to come and do a little learning and have a little fun with their students. That's it for curriculum. Dr. Radis mentioned the state testing that's coming up. We just did our computer-based testing dry run kind of with our 3rd graders who will take the test for the first time this year. Last year, we moved all grade levels to online testing, and we were successful in terms of, just the functionality. So we don't anticipate any issues this year. All teachers are prepping students to work within the testing platform in their classrooms currently. In terms of infrastructure, we've made some progress in terms of redundancy. So we have now a secondary Verizon line that comes into James A. Deaver, which will keep us running in the event of an internet outage. So sometimes when our internet and phones go down and we have to manage on the spot, that will no longer be the case because we have this backup system in place now. In addition to that, we've put battery backups in every building to keep us operational for about an hour in the event of a power outage, and we're exploring other options to keep us going for even longer in that case. And our camera servers were moved to a cloud-based memory system so that if we do experience a power outage, the cameras are still recording and they are accessible off premises. So just some additions to our infrastructure and to our security. But that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And for those that joined late, we covered a couple of other things already. Dr. LaRocca spoke earlier because she had to leave for her son's concert. And our mini grant winners for each school were notified, checks were sent out. We are just having three of the principals from Deaver, Wheeler, and Willow to check on the checks that were sent via Interschool. Howell did cash their mini grant check. Our next meeting will be on April 23rd at 9 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you everyone for participating in tonight's Interschool meeting. Thank you to our administration and our principals for their updates. We look forward to seeing you again in April with some more updates. At that meeting, we'll be talking about wellness night, meet the candidate night, and some other great things that are going to be happening in the spring. And I know we're all looking forward to the warmer weather. I for sure am counting down the days till we have sunsets after 7 p.m. We can enjoy more outdoor time. The students can enjoy more outdoor time, but overall, looking forward to the remainder of the school year and the activities that are going to be happening. So thank you all. I think this is where everybody's staying for the next session. Okay, perfect. So if you're here for that, just stay on. Otherwise, if you were just here for Interschool, we'll be signing off. But thanks again to everyone and have a wonderful evening.
Have a great night,
Ms.
everybody.
Cardinal?
Yes.
My director of facilities just texted me and he told me that the roof should be approved, according to the queue, it should be approved in about 4 weeks.
Excellent. Okay. So hopefully we'll have a better update in April.
In April, yes, exactly. Okay.
Just in time for April showers.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Antoine. I appreciate that.
Good
All right.
night, all.
Have a good evening, everyone. And if you're staying on for the next session, please, remain on this line.
Okay. Have a good night.
Yes. So the Zoom link for